Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Scaresbrook, also known as the Intrepid Wino, and welcome to another episode of Let's Taste with the Intrepid Wino. On this series I basically just open up bottles of Australian wines. Sometimes they've been sent to me by wine producers, which I'm very, very grateful for. If you'd like to submit some samples, please do get in touch because I'd love to open and share my impressions. But sometimes the wine comes from my own cellar. In this case, it's another bottle that has been submitted, in this case by All Saints Estate. Specifically, it's from their St. Leonards Vineyard, I guess, range. And it's a brand new product for them, but in fact it actually comes from a very old style, a very classic wine style for the Rutherglen region where they are based. As you might have seen, I recently tasted some other All Saints wines and mentioned that the Rutherglen region in northeastern Victoria is undoubtedly one of the best, if not the best, region in Australia for fortified wines, what unfortunately is not, they're not allowed to call it port anymore because of course Porto has that name protected, but basically like fortified red wines, in some cases are aged, sometimes they're vintage. They are a really important part of the wine history of not just Rutherglen, Victoria in particular, and other parts of Australia as well. Pre kind of 1970s, 80s, the vast majority of wine consumed in Australia was fortified wines, whether it be Tawnys, Tokay's, which are now called Topak, Muscats, sherries, which of course you're not allowed to call it sherries. Well, Europe's done a very good job in protecting their geographical names, and good on them for that. But with the modernisation of the Australian wine industry, I think it had a lot to do with the improvement in quality of white wines made in Australia. Fortified wines really did kind of fall off the map. They became a lot less consumed, but they still continue to be a really important part of Australian wine history, particularly when you have some really beautiful old material. Like these are wines that were made decades ago and they still sit in barrels aging. I had the good fortune of visiting Seppeltsfield in the Barossa Valley some years ago with my father, and they make a wine which I believe is by volume the most expensive wine made in Australia, because I think it's about $1,000 a bottle for a half bottle. They have the Para, it's released at 100 years of age. It's a Tawny, it's a vintage Tawny. These are really, really exceptional wines. I guess they are finding it difficult to kind of find the context for when they would be enjoyed. I guess historically in Australia you drink them all the time, but now with I guess people more interested in food and wine matching, and by the time you get to dessert, maybe you don't want any more wine. Maybe you might want a spirit or something like that. So sweeter wines don't really sell heaps in Australia. I guess more dessert wines really. I'm not talking about stuff like Moscato. And fortified wines are just not really consumed very much. They're kind of considered to be quite daggy and old-fashioned. You think of your grandmother drinking cream sherry, that kind of thing. But with this new product, it's the first, I believe, in a range of new fortified wines. Hip Sip, they are attempting to, connect with a younger wine drinking audience and sort of, show them what these wines can be. And I don't doubt that they will probably, part of the sort of promotional campaign will be to actually have them paired with like cocktails even. You can actually use fortified wines in cocktails. They're actually quite good. So let's have a look at this Tawny. As soon as I can get it open. Lovely, really, really good quality glass stopper, which is going to be very helpful for these kind of wines. And I love this bottle. It looks like a hip flask in a way. So Recommended retail of $20. Like, that's crazy value when you consider that chances are the wine might be a blend of barrels aged quite a number of years. So you do, just to put it in context, fortified wines basically, in this case, you are picking the grapes pretty ripe, you begin the fermentation, and then you will add a spirit, and generally a neutral spirit, a grape spirit, which fortifies the wine. It actually stops the fermentation process by increasing the alcohol volume up to, I guess, 17, 18% here. So, but then you still have residual sugar because you're stopping the fermentation. So, and then you leave the wine to age for a period of time. So, fortified wine, yes, there we go. Tawny, I would say grape varieties, more than likely going to be Shiraz, maybe Durif or Cabernet. Typically that's what you use. They tend not to use the Portuguese varieties that much, but I believe they are being reintroduced, which is pretty exciting to see. So as you can see, it's a really lovely kind of bronze sort of caramel kind of color. It's quite light and clean. You're sort of seeing that kind of viscosity kind of being picked up on the edge of the glass there. So we're talking about sort of burnt toffee, caramel. There's even a little bit of, I don't know, like lychee kind of aroma in there, which is quite interesting. Typically with these kind of fortified wines, you sort of see like tea, maybe even some coffee characters. But yeah, it has that sort of syrupy sort of countenance, which gives the aroma picks that up as well. Let's taste. Again, a really important part of the fortified wines, in particular, Tawny's, is that the barrel aging kind of gives it an oxidative note, and that's kind of where you're typically going to get that tea character, and this is no exception. It has a really lovely kind of openness to it. It's still quite fresh. There's very good acidity. The fruits, although moving into that kind of more raisiny kind of character, still very vibrant, lovely and juicy. The sweetness is, I think, very well balanced. You do get a bit of a whack of warmth from the alcohol first, on the front of the palate, but it does actually kind of finish off quite clean and pleasant. This is actually a really great example, and for $20, guys, you really do owe it to yourselves to go out and buy this bottle. Just give it a try. I cannot tell you how sad a lot of people who work in the wine industry that fortified wines aren't as popular as they used to be. I'm sure, like anything that was popular, there was a lot of crap out there, but what's still there, particularly when you're talking about the Rutherglen region, what's still there is really the cream. Like what's the word they say? The cream of the whatever. They are some really, really beautiful wines, and I do encourage people to just try something. Just open your mind, try it, and who knows, you might find that you actually like what these wines have to offer, and you might kind of think of different ways that you might like to enjoy it, whether it be matching it with a different kind of food or using it in an innovative way. Some people like putting the fortified wines on ice cream, something like that. Who am I to tell you that you're wrong? If you enjoy it, that's the most important thing. So guys, give the hip sip a nip, and take a nip from your hip sip bottle. Go out there. You've got this beautiful, bright, colourful label. Really, really premium packaging. I don't even know how they're managing to do that for recommended retail of $20. It is a 350ml bottle, so just a little bit less than a half. But guys, I heartily encourage you to try this because it is really yummy. And hopefully I can try some more fortified wines for you in the future. But if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button and leave a comment below. Subscribe to the Intrepid Wino YouTube channel. Come and visit me at intrepidwino.com. Go and visit All Saints Estate and some of the other really outstanding wineries in the Rutherglen region. You know, if you're driving from Melbourne to Sydney or vice versa, it's really not far off the Hume Highway. You know, just a little bit further up the river from Albury. But guys, until next time, cheers.